The spice must flow. Oh, Kane 20C, I adore that. Hello everybody. Let me pop on. Yes, it is the Jessie with the I do have a gender. I do have a gender, and it's a Jessie gender. Ah, hello everybody. Let me pop on. Not pop off. That would be inappropriate for YouTube. We don't do that here, but I will pop on. How do I do that? Where's the button? There we are. Wow, that was quick. Hello everybody. Ooh. My vanity is not good today. Also, where's my music? Where'd my music go? Hello everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're all kicking butt. I hope everyone's doing amazing, because you all are amazing. Hello, everybody. Hello, Miss Wicked Wolf, Morningstar Council, Lewis, Surprise 23, Flat P, Finn, Victor, Don, George, who else is here? Lindstrom, Sarah, good to see you. I am like super blue today. Can I beef this up? Let me see if I can stop being so blue. Let's see if I can make myself a little less blue. Let's see. I am very, very blue today. I'm blue, da ba dee da ba die, and that's all I can sing. Or else without getting copyright claim. There. That should be. It's a little better. Now I'm purple. Very. Which side? That's this side. Oh, it's because of this. So I can fix that. That's better. Qua? That's good. Kinda. There we are. Anywho, hello everybody. How's everyone doing today? Oh geez, immediately jumped to 180. I hope everyone's doing well. We are amazing. You are amazing. Carson, you are amazing. Joe, you're amazing. Oh, thank you so much for Super Chat. You're making my time in rehab easier. Well, I hope you're doing well, Joe, and I hope you're kicking butt. Sending you love, and you're kicking rehab's butt, my friend. Sending you all the love. Someone else gave a Super Chat. I'm going to mispronounce the name. Inuyusha Kagomi. Heart to you. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Mwah. Thank you for the Super Chat. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's doing really well. Aw, thank you, Al. Sending you love as well. I am in a really spicy mood today. I had a meeting for something that I'm really excited about that you'll be all hearing about at the end of the month, which I'm really pumped about. Got a big project to work, so I just had a meeting about that. But then also, I had an interview that I did earlier today, about an hour or so ago, that was really awesome. Like, I'm actually really pleased with the interview, so much so that I asked if I could have a copy of the interview, because I'm like, I might make content out of this. I might just take what I just said and make it scripts, because this was really, I was very much like, screw it. Take it all down. We're burning down this system. Screw it. It's amazing. So I'm just in a really good mood today. Feeling like very messed. Fuck. Let's just say, I wasn't gonna say fuck it, but say fuck it. Fuck the system. We're amazing. Trans people are amazing. All of you people are amazing. And we're here to be our best selves and say screw the systems that weren't built for us, because these systems were never built for us, and we are gonna find our own community and our own sense of selves together, because we kick ass. Anyways, how is everyone else doing? As would seem to, Orion send, I'm sending you love. Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm sorry you're feeling that way. Also, the mighty Jinjo Joe, I hope you appreciate, I shot my, I did my Patreon rap today. I filmed that earlier today. And after I did your voice, after I did your name shout out, Jinjo Joe, I did, which, by the way, did you see, by the way, Jinjo Joe? You see, mighty Jinjo Joe, that Nick Offerman said that he stopped playing video games after Banjo-Kazooie because they just peaked then, which I thought was hilarious. That was absolutely wonderful. Banjo-Kazooie is the best, literally one of my favorite games, favorite games of all time. So I was so excited. Like, Nick Offerman's a Banjo-Kazooie stan? Hell yes, here for that. Exactly, he's definitely not wrong. Andrea, heart to you. Thank you. Said new to the community and love what you do. Keep it up. We'll keep up what you do, my friend. Thank you for being here. And wait, let's just see. Let's see. Disgus Tangy, heart to you, said, I am currently on that character AA thing trying to convince Satan to help me defeat God because God is watching Too Many Girls to find God. Yeah, that's hilarious. God is watching Too Many Girls videos. Yeah, sadly, that's what Christians, many Catholicism sort of beliefs sort of revolve around. It's kind of funny. Not to hate people who have belief, just the system of Catholicism is awful in that sense. Here for Spicy. Sarah, heart to you, my friend. Everyone go support Sarah. Sarah is absolutely amazing. One of my favorite creators. She does the Fat Culture Critic channel, and it is absolutely freaking wonderful, and I adore her and everything that she makes. So go check out Sarah's channel, and it's good to see you, my friend. Hi, a new MB person here. Love you. Oh, Wandering Ghoul. Heart to you, my friend. Welcome, my fellow MB. Watch Conan O'Brien. Conan the Barbarian. Yet no, Chloe. Don't hate me. I didn't. Don't hate me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You keep shaming me, and I don't do it, and I feel bad every time. I don't even want to look you in the eye. I can't. I'm not even looking you in the eye, and I feel bad. Let's see. How else is everyone here? By the way, one topic at a time. Good to see you. You're great. Heart to you, my friend. Oh my gosh. How are you doing? So wonderful to see you. I hope everyone's doing well. Oh, that's so nice to see you here. How's everyone doing? By the way, I haven't even said Conan O'Brien. Oh, Conan O'Barbarian. By the way, sorry, I'm just pulling up one second. How is everyone doing today? Before I get too much further, I haven't even announced what this stream is. This stream is my weekly chat stream. I just chat about whatever you want to chat about. So if y'all give me topics of things to rant about, I will rant about it whenever, and we'll just have conversations, and we'll have a good time, and it'll just be fun. So yeah, just let me know what y'all want to talk about, and I'm here to talk about it. But yeah. Have you read Monsters? No, I haven't. I heard good things about it, Cappuccino Craft. Oh, Trek on the Tube, another great creator. I love y'all. And Finn, I didn't see you too. Finn, so many cool people here. Sarah, Trek on the Tube, Finn, one topic at a time. All of you, you're all great. Heart to you all, my friends. Hope you're all doing well. College exams are rough. I'm glad I don't have to deal with college exams, to be honest with you. I hate college. I hated college exams so much. Have you caught the Animorphs television series? Victor says. Yes, I have actually. And I watched it way back when I was a kid. I had the old, oh gosh, I had the old like VHS tapes of the Animorph show. I loved that show. Even though the show was okay, but it wasn't anything to the books. But I did have the old show. Someone asked me James Gunn thoughts. I am actually really pumped. I am very, very pumped for James Gunn's. For any of you who haven't heard, James Gunn announced his sort of DC Comics announcement, and as all of you like for his plan for DC going forward in terms of movies, I am very much excited for his take on the universe. You know, I've made no bones, but I did a whole video, a 3-hour video on James Gunn. He's one of my favorite mainstream filmmakers. You know, I have more filmmakers that are outside like the big Hollywood bubble sort of thing that I'd probably like more than him. But in terms of like person making big blockbuster movies, I think he is probably one of the best, if not the best, making like really authoritative statements with his films, even in a blockbuster Hollywood system. So like everything that he announced during that, I was like really kind of here for. I love the fact that he's like, it's a really risky plan to like focus on things like the Authority first and stuff like that. Like those are real risk taker of like things to start off your like new retake on the universe with, but I'm here for it. I'm here for the weird niche nerdy shit, and it sounds like James Gunn is too. So I'm very pumped for that. You know, I'm actually like a decent Tom King fan. I don't love Heroes in Crisis, but I love some of his other stuff. So his Supergirl will be really cool. It's nice to see like a hopeful like he used All-Star Superman images for his take on Superman, his film, which makes me so excited because All-Star Superman is the best Superman. Like a hopeful Superman, like it's legitimately great to like see his plan. I'm very pumped for it. Everything he announced, I was like, yeah, I'm here for this. And actually one of the things that I was really excited for is part of the team that he has helping to sort of create this DC universe is he has one of the writers from the Birds of Prey, one of the creators behind the Birds of Prey movie. I don't know if a writer or a director, but Birds of Prey was one of my favorites. And so I really hope that, you know, he's not just bringing in a bunch of cisgender dudes to help lead the universe, which, you know, I love my cisgender dudes. I love James Gunn. He's great, but creating a good panel of diverse people to do so. So I wish there was a little bit more diversity in some of the stuff that he announced, but there's a decent amount too. So I think it's on the right path. And I'm very excited to see it. So yeah, no, I was very, very pumped for his take on the DC universe so far. You know, I think probably... I'm actually excited to see Damian Wayne because Damian Wayne is my second favorite Robin behind Jason Todd because I like my traumatized little angry boys. They're my favorite characters. Traumatized little angry boys are probably my favorites, but yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's great. Nicole M. Hard to see said, for a fellow member of the club that infuriates Mr. Transfer of the Year himself. Talking about what, Matt Walsh, I'm assuming? Just piss off Matt Walsh. What else do we see here? The Monster Lord Heart to you said, hello there, finally catching up, and I always enjoy your videos. They're awesome and informative. Well, thank you, the Monster Lord. Heart to you, you're amazing. Oop, let me see. Tentacular Tuca, hard to you said, hey Jesse, this is my first time joining one of your streams. Well, welcome, my friend. Love you. Love your videos, and thank you for introducing me to Star Trek. Hell yes! I got another one. As I said, I will radicalize everyone. Like, I'm not here to radicalize anyone except for to be a Trekkie. I will make you a Trekkie. Which y'all, by the way, I won't tease too hard, because I don't want to get everyone pissed off, and I don't want to be too much of a tease, but I will say I got the screeners for Star Trek Picard Season 3, and while I do have some issues here and there, generally for the show, Season 3 of Star Trek Picard, as someone who did not like Seasons 1 and 2, is really solid and a really strong return to form for it. It's not perfect, but I really love it. Also, if anyone likes Todd Stashwick from 12 Monkeys, you should be excited because he actually plays my favorite character in the season. Like, legit, my favorite characters in the season are not any of the legacy characters. Legitimately, like, Todd Stashwick's character in the season, who you've already seen in the trailers, is an asshole who I would hate in real life, but so much fun. So get excited. I'm very excited for Star Trek Picard Season 3. I have issues. It's not perfect, but I like it quite a lot. Oh my gosh. Beardly Interesting. You are way too generous. Please, thank you for the generosity, but I appreciate it. But please take care of yourself, Beardly. Thank you so much, my friend. Evelyn, hard to you. Jesse's amazing. It's 2 a.m. Going, well, have a good night. But Beardly, thank you so much. That's really generous. You said, missed the 200k sub stream last week, so congrats. Looking forward to more fun videos that make you, rather than other videos they have ended up having to make. Yeah, I am very excited. I'm very excited. I am so, like, one of the things that I didn't really realize, you know, it's hard to, like, realize when you're in it, but when you're making videos about, like, Matt Walsh or J.K. Rowling or horrible transphobia, you forget, like, what makes you passionate about, like, making things. And yes, one topic at a time. Star Trek is pretty damn cool. It's the best thing. It's the best freaking thing. Don't you dare. Don't come in here pretty cool. Pretty cool. Don't insult me with cool. Star Trek isn't cool. Star Trek is nerdy and geeky and dorky, and that's why it is the best thing. It's not cool. It's nerdy. And I'm here for it. But no, I agree with you. But no, I'm just like, having had a week away from the J.K. Rowling nonsense, and there's still stuff coming up, but like, I am currently working on projects that I'm excited about and really pleased with. Like, there are a few things that I'm working behind the scenes already that I'm, like, planning to get out that I'm, like, I feel so nice to be making things that I'm, like, excited about. And, you know, I'm still working myself up to write a few things because I'm kind of still in the, like, trying to get over a little bit of burnout. But I'm, like, kind of getting excited to just sit down and write a whole bunch. And it was just also really nice, the Last of Us episode that really happened recently reminded me that, like, we can have media that is beautiful. It doesn't always have to be about fighting terrible transphobia or hatred or bigotry, but we can make beautiful media. And just to, like, cry at something that made me feel so good. It just reminded me how much I, like, love making art and creating things that inspire me and not just are about horrible people being horrible. So I'm very excited about that. I'm feeling so pumped. That's why I'm kind of excited right now. I'm just so excited again. This has not been a space I've been in for a little while, so I'm still getting over burnout a little bit, but I'm getting better, which is making me feel very good. So yeah, I agree with you, Beardly. Let me catch up on some super chats here. J.K. Rowling, speaking of which, J.K. Rowling will always be rich. She might not stop being relevant if people stop buying her stuff. My response is she'll be rich even if you boycott. Yeah, no, my thing is with Rowling, and I won't get into a whole thing on her, but like, the system ultimately all feeds her. I spoke about this in my video on her, right? Like, it's all framed around whether you boycott something, and it's all just feeding this economy of buying her crap and her merch. The best thing we can do is just let her die. Like, not physically. I'm not trying to advocate for violence against her, but like, let her die in the attention economy and focus on things that we can actually do for trans people. Like, focus on, like, queer media, trans supportive media. You don't owe her your attention. And the biggest trick that capitalism and things like this play and justify their own fall into, like, more and more transphobia is they make it be like, well, you have to give her your attention. We have to talk about her. We have to discuss her. And maybe you should buy her stuff so you can learn a little bit more. Even if you disagree, she's just an asshole. You want to talk. It's like, no, we don't owe her anything. Use the time that you would be talking about J.K. Rowling to go and talk about trans people or talk about other marginalized people or talk about creators, like creations that inspire you that aren't about a bigot. We don't have to have her be the topic of conversation. We can use things that inspire us. So I love using Star Trek, because it's the thing that inspires me. It's a piece of media that inspires me that, yes, has problems, and we can talk about its problems and where it's failed. And I like talking about flawed media, but we don't need to talk about media that continues an economy of hate. Because that's what Harry Potter is at this point. It is a franchise that is fueling an economy of hate. And we can talk about problematic media, because I won't say the interviewer, but I was talking with someone I was really look up to recently for an interview for a thing that he's quoting me in. And he was like, well, maybe you could play Hogwarts Legacy to like learn like what it does with the goblins or whatever. It's like, I don't care. Like, I'm not against talking about problematic media, but that platform is focusing on an economy of hate right now. Harry Potter is being wielded to support hate and being wielded by transphobes to obfuscate their hate. So let's focus on making things, focus on things that actually are meaningful. Yeah, exactly one topic at a time. That's been the thing that I've always said. Like, people keep saying like, oh, well, Hogwarts Legacy isn't giving her money. I don't care. Like, it's not about the money. It's about the attention she's getting from it. She's going to be a billionaire no matter what, you know? Carson, where do I start watching Star Trek? I did a whole video on that. Carson Phelps, I did a whole video on it. Whole video on it that you can check out. My recommendations, Star Trek Prodigy, if you like newer animated stuff. The Next Generation, if you're willing to watch older stuff. Or if you want more modern but live action stuff, I say Strange New Worlds or the recent Star Trek films with Chris Pine. Those are my like 3 or 4 big entry points, I think. Depending on what you're sort of looking for. George, heart to you said, greetings, nerdy, adorable beauty. Drop your verbal restraints. I've come for an endorphin rush. Well, I am happy my dulcet tones can give you an endorphin rush. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, actually. Oh, I'm kidding with you. You're lovely, George. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's a very generous super chat. And also 6969. I see what you did there. The Mighty Jinjojo. I did see, but I'll get to Mighty Jinjojo's. I'm not going to talk about it, but yes, Claudette in a bush. I did see Trump's speech about trans people. It is very horrifying in the sense that it is this man who is directly stoking anti-trans hate. But what it also tells me is how small of a man he is. Because all he cares about is he's just using transphobia because it's the in vogue thing to get attention. Oh, I'm standing up for women's rights. Oh, I'm standing up to protect the the poor children that we need to go and protect. Oh, think of the children. He doesn't have anything that he stands for. He doesn't have anything that he believes in. He's a small, tiny little man who is using transphobia because it's the only thing that keeps him mildly relevant because it's the current culture war conversation. And yeah, it's scary and horrible, but he's ultimately small and weak and childish, as is everyone who stokes transphobia. Because all they are doing is just trying to benefit their pocketbook, benefit their attention. They have nothing meaningful to say anymore. Same thing with J.K. Rowling. Same thing with Matt Walsh. They have nothing of note to say, nothing to add into the world. So all they do is add hate so they can gain attention and money. That's all they're doing. They're small people, and we fight back against that by saying they are small people, recognizing they're small people, and recognizing that we are stronger together, and that we are stronger when we unite together to push back against these silly, dumb people and create things bigger and better than ourselves. Can you tell that I am in a spicy mood today? I am in a spicy mood. All right? I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just in a mood right now where I'm just like, screw it. I will take down all of these people. So yeah, like DeSantis, Matt, all of them, small people. Small people. Anywho, keep going. Let's see. Sorry I'm catching up on the super chats. Everyone's being very generous. Like, please take care. I appreciate the super chats. Take care of yourself, and I want to make sure I get to all the ones that you're sending me, but please take care of yourselves first. Hi, Jessie. I saw that Banjo broke Nick Offerman, and that made my day. I'm curious if there are any horror fantasy novels you recommend. I read After the Affair of the Mysterious Letter, which is awesome. Yeah, I know. That was great. Horror fantasy. I'm reading right now. I'm not done with it yet, but I really recommend it. It is a book about fascism by a transgender author. It is a really cool horror novel called, I'm blanking on the title of it because let me pull it up from my audiobooks. Tell Me I'm Worthless, I think is the name of it, but let me just double check. If you're looking for good horror fantasy, this one, Tell Me I'm Worthless. I'm gonna pull up my Audible here. One sec. This book right here. Let's see if I can get it on my screen real quick. Look for this book. It is really, really good. It's a book about fascism by Alison Rumfitt. It is really, really, really good, and it's a horror novel that is quite literally about these systems and by a trans author. Like, go support this book. Tell Me I'm Worthless. It is really, really great. I cannot recommend it enough, and that's currently what I'm reading. Also, Manhunt's really good. I already talked about that in a video. That's a really good horror novel as well. So, yeah, please go check that out as well. Also, speaking of horror, I might play this weekend. I know I keep saying that. I'm hoping to get back to doing more game streams. I've just been busy as all hell for a bunch of different things. But Dead Space is here. Alphabet people, you want me to start Spitfire a little bit? I need to catch up on Super Chats, but how we defeat fascism by standing together and realizing that these systems that we exist in today, capitalism, neoliberalism, they are not built for us. These systems are not built for us, and what we do when we create beautiful art, when we create beautiful work and things in these systems, that is it is done in spite of these systems. People talk about like things like great games, YouTube and things being done because YouTube channels just like, no, these things are done in spite of these systems. And what we need to do, the way we fight fascism is, I think, by any means necessary, Wandering Ghoul, but we realize that the system that we exist in was never built for us. And I've been reading this great book. If you want a recommendation, go read this book called Glitch Feminism that uses the metaphor of like glitches and like programming to talk about how human rights issues, about how we need to make our bodies glitches in the system. Our bodies are already glitches in the system because the system was never built for us as marginalized people. And so our bodies need to become the glitches in the system that corrupt it, that bring it down, that remix it, that take pieces and destroy it and corrupt it and just bring it all down, because the system was never built for us and we can build something better. And the way we do that is with each other, alongside each other, and in solidarity with each other, and create power through our working together, not against each other. So hell yes, that is how we fight back against fascism, and also by any means necessary. So hell yeah. Catching up on some super chats here, but that's my answer to that question. And again, just fighting back against horrible people and standing up alongside communities that need our help, that are more vulnerable than us. Let's see. Catching up on super chats. Apologies, I might have missed a super chat or two, but I'm catching up on where I'm at. Mackenzie Hope, heart to you. If I missed a super chat or two, I do apologize. My chat stream pumps me down at certain points. Simo, heart to you. You said, I start watching your and other trans YouTubers content to broaden my horizon. Now I'm thinking I'm trans. Nice job, Jessie. Well, Simo, my goal was not to make you trans. My goal was to, I'm glad that I was able to help you come to realize that you're trans, but you did that yourself. All I did is help give you some of the language and ability to sort of think in that way that helps you better articulate yourself. You figured it out, and I am honored, very honored to have been part of that process of giving you the visual or like verbal language to understand yourself better. But all I did was provide the language or help you get access to language along with other trans YouTubers, and I'm so glad for you, Simo. So heart to you, my friend. Farmigia, heart to you. You said, hi Jessie, never watched your streams, but I first discovered your videos on Nebula. Hell yeah. As a masked non-binary, the trans girlfriend, your content has helped us a lot understand our own journeys. Well, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, my friend. You are amazing and lovely, and I adore you. Mwah. Sending you love, my friend. Alex Kona, heart to you. And sending love to your partner, by the way, I should say. Alex Kona, you said, Jessie, now you know I've watched since I was making music for YouTubers. That's been like 3 years and I'm part of that Hollywood bubble. I'm part of the Hollywood bubble. I'm part of the Hollywood transes. The Hollywood transes now. No, that's funny. I am actually, speaking of Hollywood though, I am actually excited because I am going to get to go to the Star Trek Picard premiere. Bellamy! Hey, it's good to see you! Good to see you, my friend! I'm going to the Star Trek Picard premiere next week. I'm so excited. Weirdly, I'm going to be in the same room with, like, Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes. They're not going to talk to me. Don't worry. I'm just going to literally be the weird dork in the corner while they're there. It's going to be a big event, so I'm going to be in vicinity of them. But the thing I'm most excited about is Sean Farrick is going to be there. Sean Farrick is the host at Trek Culture, and we've spoken a bunch. I've done interviews with him, and we've like talked a bunch online. We've never been in the physical space together, and I'm so pumped to get to meet Sean Farrick. Like, legitimately, it's going to be so nice. I'm going to give him the biggest hug in the world, and it's going to be a real fun time. So I'm so excited for that. Literally, that's my favorite exciting thing to go for that for. Hammock, heart to you. Love your videos. You go, girl. Well, Hammock, heart to you, my friend. Mwah. You are absolutely amazing, and I adore you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Catch up. Chloe, heart to you. Hogwarts Legacy will be a buggy, mediocre mess that will achieve a couple that won't really fix any core issues. Then the devs will move on. I mean, I'm not going to speak to the, I'll let the quality speak for itself. I'm not really going to talk about Hogwarts Legacy. I will say, I mean, I don't want the, like, I want the workers that work there, especially ones who are transportive, to be able to pay their bills and have a secure life. So I hope that they are getting paid, and getting paid appropriately and feel secure and being able to take care of the family and kids and children and anyone around them and themselves. But that being said, I think it'd be funny if the game sucks, but I'm not going to talk about it because I don't care. Let's see. Noisy Blue, hard to you. You said, hi, that was a rhyme. Hi, I wanted to say that my boyfriend and I love watching your vids, me because of the trans and social content, him because of the Trekkie stuff. Hell yes, that is the exact intersection of my content. Trans stuff, Trekkie stuff. There we go. A match made in bisexual hell, I guess. I love it. Site 42. Hello, Jessie Gender fam. I'm busy working but listening to the stream, but I hope y'all have the best day possible. Secure, contain, protect. Plus tip for Jessie. Oh, thank you very much, Site 42. Mwah. Heart to you, my friend. Corey, heart to you. Mwah. You keep sounding like I said super tits. It's funny, Data. The reason why I got heart to you, but the Trekkin Hoovian. The reason why I got into Lower Decks is because I'm a fan of animation. I find it approachable more so than live action. It's great because it introduced me to the further franchise. Hell yes. Get into Lower Decks. Be a Trekkie through Lower Decks. Lower Decks is my personal favorite one going on right now, and I adore it so much. So hell yes. I'm glad you got in through Lower Decks. Hell yes. More Lower Decks, fam. Rail, heart to you, said, I still don't get why Rowling felt the need to attack you specifically. Still on Rowling. If anything, you're usually empathetic in your statement of her and Harry Potter. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I said in the video, J.K. Rowling is arguing with the straw man version of trans people, not actual trans people. To her, the trans people are not the actual trans people they exist. It's the boogie trans person in her head. She sees all trans women specifically as predators, and she sees trans men as like people, like just women that have been tricked into this horrible lifestyle who need to be protected from the horrible predator transes, mostly trans women. And so if she has sublimated her trauma of that she experienced as a woman under the patriarchy, her own sexual violence that she experienced, which is absolutely horrible, but she does not view any other version of womanhood as valid because she is a woman of certain privilege and certain skin color. She's a white woman of economic means, and so she doesn't really have an understanding of that womanhood could exist in different forms, and thereby she does not see trans women as validly women. Thereby she sees us as just men. Thereby she then, because of the sexual violence that she has undergone, has sublimated that trauma onto all men, and so since she sees trans women men, we must be predators. And then she is enabled in her transphobia by the capitalist world around her that benefits her when she speaks up about trans people when she does transphobic stuff. Because again, we live in an attention economy. The more attention you get, the more money you get, the more rewarded you are with a higher and bigger platform. So you could say horrible things and it just gets you attention and people supporting you, because that's what our system stokes. So she is doing horrible things because the system around her is continually benefiting her and telling her she's a good, wonderful, perfect person for having done so. But at the end of the day, she is just harming a marginalized group, and she doesn't realize she is actually not even seeing real trans people. The argument, when she retweeted me, it was so clear that like she wasn't seeing me as the trans person talking to her. She was or talking about her in empathetic, like that was one of my very lactose statements I could make about her. And she was arguing with the straw man version of trans people that she has in her head because she only sees trans women specifically as predators. And non-binary people don't exist to her. And trans masked people are just people that need to be protected. They're just young girls that need to be protected from the horrible transes, infantilizing stuff. So yeah, it's exactly. She doesn't see trans people. She sees her straw man version of trans people, the boogie trans person. So. Swishfish Heart, you said, hi, hey Jessie, just want to say I totally caught you sneaking my comment into your JKR script. I'm super flattered. Oh, you're totally awesome. Thank you for taking the stand. We're too worn out too. Yeah, like I said, I was talking about this earlier in the stream. I have been and will probably get again worn out. Like, the goal of hatred and transphobia and bigotry is to wear out people. It's to wear us down and to make us focused on constantly dealing with their bullshit instead of actually creating something better. The system itself only benefits from us just constantly stoking these antagonistic fights. the better way to go forward is to debunk the misinformation as we can and the disinformation as we can, but focus on creating something better, destroying the system, focus on creating beautiful things, creating community, things that make us feel inspired, make us full people. That's what we want to be. We are full people, not when we are fighting against others, but when we form community with each other, we find connections with each other, and we make beautiful things. Be it art, be it like things that we actually care about. That's how we create a better tomorrow. And the goal of all of this stuff is to burn us out. I want you all to know, I'm sure all of you are dealing with mental health stuff. I am dealing with mental health stuff right now. I think all of us, everyone, whether you're trans, cis, queer, not, women, man, whatever, we're all feeling mental health harm right now because everything seems so bleak and dire and hopeless. And I want you to know that that is okay to feel. I feel it a lot too. Believe me, I feel demoralized and sad and feeling that there's no hope for the future sometimes. And it is an okay feeling. But know that as long as we have each other, as long as there's someone next to us who we can fight for and with, whether they be in our community, like the trans community, or a community that is also marginalized that we are fighting alongside and with, and hopefully in allyship with. As long as there's something we are fighting alongside and for, there is always going to be hope. There's always something to fight for. And the thing I will also say is that these systems of authoritarianism and neoliberalism that ultimately all justifies its own decay into fascism. Fascism, it seems horrible and oppressive, but fascism ultimately will lose. Authoritarianism ultimately will lose. The only question is how long it takes to lose and how many people get hurt or harmed or die in the process of destroying. But it is ultimately a self-defeating ideology. It will ultimately always destroy itself because it always requires an enemy to fight against. It always requires perpetual endless wars and decay and falling into destruction. But as long as there's a human being that exists, there is hope, because human beings are never just a function for the system. We are, amorphous. We are corruption. We are monstrous malfunctions. And we will, as long as there is a human being that exists to say we are not just a function, we are living outside of this system, then there's always, always, always hope. There's always hope. So I understand that we're all feeling worn out and sad. I feel it all the time too. But know that there is always hope. So yeah, I think that's, hopefully that was hopefully that was something helpful to say. I guess people are here. Claire, hard to you, says, this is my to the Temple of Jessie Gender. In all seriousness, I really appreciate your content for a long time now, so the bottom of my heart, thanks to your sugar and spice. Well, thank you, Claire. Mwah. Heart to you. I adore you. The dawn of van life, heart to you, my friend. Mwah. Sending you love. No! Damn it. My thing just jumped ahead, so I'm probably gonna miss. I probably missed a couple super chats, so apologies if I missed a super chat or two. My chat stream jumped ahead. I wish it just saved a thing of super chats just for me, but it didn't. So apologies that I didn't. If I missed yours. But Cloud Strife, you said, have you ever played Star Trek Voyager Elite Force? Also, you recommend any Star Trek books for someone who's only seen the show? Kapla. Star Trek books are hard to recommend if you haven't seen Star Trek. I mean, you could buy some of the books that are just one-off episodes of the show. So there's one-off Star Trek books and things like that I think you could probably read as just basic knowledge of the series. There's none specifically, but I would just look for the ones that aren't part of a larger storylines or things like that. The numbered Star Trek books that are older, I think would be probably pretty good. But it's harder to recommend that. That being said, Star Trek Voyager Elite Force I love and appreciate, and actually I'll be a little bit of a spoiler here. Forgive me, Paramount Plus. If you like Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, I called this. I literally tweeted at Terry Metalis, that showrunner of Star Trek Picard, about this, and he said, yes, this is true. The very first scene of Star Trek Picard Season 3 has a Star Trek Voyager Elite Force reference in it. I won't say what. It's kind of dumb. It's a dumb reference, but I say that in absolute respect. It's like the dumbest reference you can make to Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, and I loved it. But it is legitimately, there is a really weird call out to Star Trek Voyager Elite Force in the literal first scene of Star Trek Picard Season 3. Yeah, if you're a Star Trek Elite Force fan, you'll call it. It's kind of fun. Chimera, heart to you, said, just a little tip to make sure you can get some rest you need. It's not much, but you have been covering some heavy topics users of the remnant. Well, thank you, Chimera. Like I've already said, I'm going to make less content this year and make it better. So just so everyone knows, I've already made this clear, I'm not going to be making as many videos, though I probably will make some one-off ones, I'm hoping. to make a 10-minute video that is just talking about trauma versus tragedy within The Last of Us, because I want to do a quick comparison between the video game of The Last of Us and the TV show The Last of Us, and talk about how their representation of Bill and Frank are both tragic. Like, both storylines of Bill and Frank are tragic storylines, but the difference is the game version was traumatic for queer people, and the TV show was not traumatic in the slightest. It was actually really beautiful that avoided tragedy. And the distinction between the two, and why so many queer people reacted to The Last of Us, was that it was devoid of trauma, and so much of queer stories are full of trauma. So the very fact that there was a story that in this really traumatic world eschewed trauma was what so many queer people found themselves crying at while watching that episode, was the lack of a traumatic storyline for queer people, when so many of our stories have always been defined by trauma. And that's what the game version did. The game version defined itself by trauma, which is why it wasn't really special or unique. It was just a blah, fine story that just evoked the rest of the tragedy of the world. But the beauty of that episode of The Last of Us, which everyone should go watch, by the way, even if you're not a Last of Us fan, it's gorgeous in more ways than one, was that it was not traumatic, even though it was tragic. So yeah, I think that's that. C, hard to use to have some coffee cash. Well, thank you for the coffee cash. Yes, you do, DBC. I like The Last of Us. I've been enjoying it as a show, but even if you don't watch the whole show, just watch the 3rd episode. It is well worth your time just for that 3rd episode. And you can almost watch the 3rd episode pretty much in isolation, even if you're not going to watch the rest of the series. I think the whole series is really damn good. Also, Pedro Pascal is my perfect daddy. Yeah, we'll go with that. Pedro Pascal is a perfect man. We'll say that. I love Pedro Pascal. But even if you just watch that 3rd episode, mwah, it was just great. Dark Excalibur Trek pitch. Petty Federation ambassador gets sent to Paradise City. Co-workers are an honest Romulan, a cowardly Klingon. A Klingon plumber everyone thinks is obsidian order comedy ensues. I would love a Star Trek like home comedy, like a situational comedy, not just Lower Decks. I think that would be kind of fun. That'd be great. I love that idea. Pedro Dadscal, I love that. Heart to you. Tale of Hippopotamus, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. Super Desi, heart to you. Say if your next Taco Bell order when you start streaming Elden Ring. I know! I need to play Elden Ring. I haven't played it yet. I've beaten all the FromSoft games. I told you all, by the way, that I'm getting another tattoo. I think I said this. I'm getting a Dark Souls tattoo. So I'm working on that right now. I need to find an artist here in Seattle. If anyone, by the way, people, tweet at me or comment down below if you know any artists in the Seattle area that do really cool tattoos, and you think I could do like some cool Dark Souls tattoos for me. Let me know if you know any Seattle tattoo artists. Like, send me some information. Let's see. George, hard to use, and my cousin has a black cat called Newt. She named it after the girl from Aliens. She herself has Ripley from Psychic. Oh, that's amazing. Yes, we both have cats called Newt. I love my Newt. He is currently... My door is closed, otherwise I'd try and call him in, but he's in the other room at the moment. Lee, hard to you, said, hi Jesse, have you watched You Like Battlestar Galactica 2004? It's so fave episodes. I don't remember episodes specifically, but Battlestar Galactica was my favorite show back when it was on. I adore Battlestar Galactica so much. I'd be curious, I haven't gone back and watched it. I rewatched it in college, but I haven't rewatched it in 10 years since. I'd be curious to go back and rewatch it. I feel like it would have aged decently well. I love the ideas of transhumanism and AI and parenthood and like giving birth to and religion that were in there. I remember a lot of those things are really cool, and like when I say giving birth, I mean like passing on our best selves to the next generation, rather than it being about like, you know, physical giving birth, but like what does it mean to pass on stuff and trauma between generations. It's a great show for all of that. I'd be curious how much I would feel about the post 9/11 element of the show, because I know the show is very much like a post 9/11 storyline. So I'd be curious to see how well that ages, especially in light of For All Mankind, which is a TV show that I love, which is also written by Ronald D. Moore, the same showrunner. But that show has become a little bit of a, let's just say it's a little bit neoliberal for my taste. It's liberal, but not really like leftist. It's got a little bit of like if we had a good CEO, man, like a good Elon Musk, it would be great. And I'm like, I don't know if that's okay. But I do love For All Mankind generally. I think it's a really great show, but it has a little bit element of that. So I'd be curious to see how well Battlestar Galactica has aged in the sense of the post 9/11 world that it's reflecting. That being said, I think a lot of the other ideas within that show are great. So I love Battlestar Galactica. I think it's great. I would be curious to talk about it. Also, by the way, I will say not Battlestar Galactica. Not Battlestar Galactica, but it has a spin-off called Caprica, which also has some problematic tendencies in it, but I also really love that show quite a bit, and I may be working on a project that is in part inspired by Caprica. Not Battlestar Galactica, but Caprica. That show did not get enough attention. Caprica was so good. It was the prequel series to Battlestar Galactica, and it is almost all but forgotten, and it is so good in a lot of aspects. Some problematic stuff in there too, like its handling of polyamory is wonky, let's just say. But Caprica was great. Rebecca Hart, you said, Jesse, I know nothing about Star Trek. I have any desire to watch it, but your joy for his infection makes me smile. You need to watch Star Trek! Rebecca! I'm looking at you. Watch Star Trek. Do it. Yeah, you do. You want to watch Star Trek? Yeah, you do. Okay. Just had to do it. Got to go, Aaron, you said, got to go, but now... Oh, sorry, Owen, excuse me. Got to go, but now you should have someone enough super to buy a boat. Please do that Animorphs video. I'll write it down. I've been wanting to do an Animorphs video. So there's 3 ones that I want to do. Someone mentioned Breaking Bad in the chat a second ago, but I want to do a video on Animorphs. I also want to do a comparison between... I'm watching The Sopranos for the first time right now. I'm in season 3 of The Sopranos, and I know how the show ends. And I want to do a comparison. Again, we'll see. These are just ideas. Every creator has more ideas than they know what to do with. But I would love to do a comparison between the endings of Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, and Sopranos in terms of accountability, like masculinity and accountability. Because I think like the differences in how male characters are given or not given or have to account for their actions is unique between those 3 shows. So I would love to do a comparison between those 3 shows and masculinity and accountability. Be an interesting one. But Animorphs would probably go first, and then I want to do the Last of Us one too. That would be a shorter one. The thing with Animorphs. The thing that with Animorphs videos, I want to do an Animorphs video, but I'm not entirely sure what I would say about it just yet. I mean, I could talk about the trans aspect of it. Like, there's definitely a lot of trans feels in that series, and maybe that's enough. But I feel like if I'm going to do a video on Animorphs, I would want it to be more than just a, like, it's trans, or a retrospective. I would want it to, like, have an essay to say about it. There's ideas that I have floating around in it, but I haven't necessarily 100% nailed exactly what I'm thinking for an Animorphs essay, but I would love to do one at some point. I just need to figure out exactly what the take would be. I think would be the where I'm at right now with it. D Duval, heart to you. Had kind of an awful day with work. So happy to see. Oh, D Duval, I love you and I'm sending you all the love, friend. Send D Duval some love. I'm sorry you had an awful day, my friend. Can you clip that, Lily? You're talking about my speech earlier. Thank you, Lily. I definitely can. I probably should at some point. Maybe I will. Oh, Vera, good to see you. I just saw you show up. Good to see you, Vera. Quint Wolfhard to use it. In the future, do you think a lot of trans people might not be called trans if they are not having their gender assumed at birth in the first place? Yeah, I do think. You know, I haven't started reading it. Actually, let me get it for you, review. I'm reading because I mentioned that I want to do a good video on non-binary identities, and I've been reading a few books. Give me a second, everyone. So I've been reading a few books. This isn't the one I was actually thinking of, but I have another one. But this is like a non-binary and gender throughout history. And it's a really, really good book about gender throughout history. And a lot of, like, there are different ways that transness has been thought about and gender nonconforming folks throughout history. But, like, the way we think of trans today, at least within our culture, is very much because we view gender as static and binary right now. So our culture, based out of colonialism, set up these sort of gender hierarchy and binaries and sort of created this duality where men are above women. And that's not the only way that we have to think about the world. And so I do think, like, in a future where we do not have this sort of, like, gendered binary system and patriarchal system, we won't think of transness as, like, crossing the boundary of something. Because the way we view transness is, like, people moving from one to the other, where in other societies and other cultures, gender is a much more fluid concept or less binary of a concept. And so, yeah, I would feel like maybe transness wouldn't really exist in a regimented world where we try to define things as singular, unstatic things. Hello, buddy. There's Newt. So yeah, I think we probably, as long as we live in a sort of capitalistic neoliberalist world, we will probably use the word trans. But I also think that like trans as a concept is, at least as we think of it today, and I want to say it is different across cultures, is always culturally relevant to the culture that it is in, contextually the culture that it's in. And that makes it, yeah, and that is why it's hard to identify trans people throughout history, Lewis, is because, like, the same ideas that we think of as transness haven't exactly existed throughout all of history. Stay Hump 10, I was watching a Kaylee and Connor video, I heard your voice in the video that sounded like yours. Yeah, I've done a bunch of, by the way, anyone who ever wants to reach out to me to do voiceover work for a video, let me know. I can easily do videos. I always love doing quotes for stuff. You know, I think it'd be fun. So yeah, if you send me quotes and stuff, if I have the time, I'd be happy to do it. So yeah, I do Kaylee's videos, done a whole bunch of that. So if anyone's looking for this wasn't the one that I was thinking of, but this is a really good one. Well, to be fair, I've only leafed through it. I haven't like sat down and read this one, so I can't speak for the whole book. So take my recommendation with a grain of salt. But this is the book I'm reading. So. Oh, thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much. Sending you love. Gabrielle, he said, hi, Jessie. Thank you so much for helping me accept and be proud of my queerness. I started as a Trekkie follower, but I got so much more from you. Hell yes! Be the queer best queer Trekkie you can be, Gabrielle. Be the best queer Trekkie you can be. Gil mentioned, sorry if I said that name wrong, but he said, my alternative to Schmogwarts Megmacy will be the upcoming remaster remake of Grim Grimoire on RTS. Ooh, and with a female led. Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. There's a bunch of like smaller led games that I need to play. Like the game that I want to play soon is Signalis. I want to get into Signalis. I heard Signalis. Also, if people are saying you want to see Newt, you can see his butt. There's his butt. He's currently underneath the table, but his butt's right there. Right, bud? Who's my little Newt butt? My little Newt butt. My little Newt butt. So there's his little butt there for all of you. So yeah, I need to finish Signalis is the current one that I'm working on. Adding, Super Desi, adding an extra 5 some pretty much eaten. Well, I saw your super chat earlier, Super Desi, but thank you so much. Mwah. And I will stream some Elden Ring. Vera, good to see you. Go to the YouTube page. There's a tab for viewer activity that lists all this. Oh, thank you, Vera. YouTube Studio page. I didn't realize that. It says viewer activity. I don't see that as a tab. See webcam, stream, and manage. I'll find it on the next stream because yeah, I don't see that, Vera. Which, by the way, everyone should go subscribe to Council of Geeks channel. Council of Geeks is amazing. I adore her. And you also should listen to our Jumpgate podcast. By the way, since we have a decent amount of people in our stream today, if you all have not listened to our podcast, Vera, who is the Council of Geeks channel, we do a Babylon 5 podcast. Every single week we're going through Babylon 5, and if you want some anti-fascist, but still problematic in and of itself, but anti-fascist media and two trans women talking about, or trans people talking about, like anti-fascist, great science fiction media, go check out our Babylon 5 podcast. It's called Jumpgate, and it's really great, and you should go check it out because it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy talking about it. And also, we're really weird on it, and I might accidentally embarrass myself in front of Vera by accidentally hitting on her. It's a fun time. Hammock Heart, you said, are you familiar with James Somerton? I actually found your channel through his LGBTQ community. Yes, I am familiar with James Somerton. I will say I'm not going to talk much about him just because it's a whole thing with him. He and I were on good terms. I want to just be clear about that, but there was a whole Twitter thing, and it's probably just it's one of those things where it's like, it's probably just best not for me to talk about anything because it'll stoke other people saying other things. So just James and I are on good terms. I wish him well. I think his videos are great. And I'll leave it at that just because I don't want to deal with other stuff. But yeah, no, James is solid. So, Site 42. We have a transphobe in the chat. Someone's getting banned. Sorry, buddy. Alright, just deleting that. So, transphobe in the chat. Alright. But we dealt with that. Site42, you said, as a cishet, I cried at The Last of Us Episode 3 because it was a remarkable, beautiful love story, especially portrayed by the actors. Something all of us creators can strive to make people feel that way with our art. Yeah, right? I agree. I was talking about that earlier, so I agree completely with that. The Last of Us Episode 3 was freaking great. It was absolutely freaking wonderful. Just check and make sure that person was officially banned. Cool, they're gone. Cool. Just wanted to make sure before other things. Oh, Uriah Hook, heart to you. Welcome, my friend. Great to see another amazing creator here. Mwah. Sending you love, my friend. Adam, heart to you, said, thank you for your content, educating and helpful. Well, thank you, Adam. You are amazing. Mwah. Sending you love. Tentacular Taku, you said, I haven't watched The Last of Us series because part 2 really put me off on the franchise. Maybe it's time I check it out. I really like the series, especially episode 3. I think it updated the problem from the show, problems from the game, I should say. The show did a great job. One of the most beautiful depictions of a queer romance, a gay romance in media that I have ever seen. That 3rd episode of The Last of Us, cannot recommend it enough. So yeah, I really recommend it, Tentacular. I actually happen to like The Last of Us Part 2, but it is a very, it's not a perfect game, and it definitely, defines, queerness by trauma a lot of the time, transness by trauma. And it's a very difficult game to get through in a lot of ways. Personally, I like Last of Us Part 2 better than Part 1, but that's me going against the grain. Nabagel, heart to you, said, sending another super to hope Super doesn't skip this one because I will cry. Please take my yen. Well, thank you so much, Nabagel. I heart you, my friend. You are amazing. Mwah. Sending you love. Catching up. Any more super chat? Oh, is my computer freeze? Okay. Sorry, my computer is being weird. Make sure, where did super chats? Sorry, catching up on super. Okay, I think it skipped some more super chats, so apologies if I missed a couple more. But Evil Gay Jester, you said the counter protest the Minecom turf event from your JK vid. Oh, hell yes, kick ass, doing some counter protesting work, being amazing. They were so outnumbered by trans people in the house. See, that's the thing. All these transphobes make these horrible, anti-trans protests, but generally they are almost always outnumbered. They're just more willing to use violence, and yeah. So there's almost always more love and community and solidarity than there is hate. Almost always. In fact, definitively always. We just have a system that makes the hateful people get in power, because that's who the system ultimately supports, those in power. So, the Dawn of Van Life, Hardy said, buy treats for Newt with love. Aw, thank you so much. I have to jump off. Well, thank you, the Dawn of Van Life. You're probably not here anymore, but sending you love. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying, Hanaya, earlier. Transphobes talk a lot. They have nothing to say. They try to make themselves relevant by spewing transphobia, but they have nothing of worth to add into the world. So that's why they spew transphobia, to make themselves feel relevant. The Trek and Hoovian said, I recently watched some post 9/11 media, and some of it was really creepy jingoism, patriotism, also 1984-ish. There was some Disney promo post 9/11. Yeah, there's a lot of hyper patriotism post 9/11 stuff, super patriotic post 9/11 stuff. So yeah, no, it's a lot, to be honest. It'd be interesting to go back and look at all of that. Star Trek Enterprise got into some of that too. Even Star Trek got into the hyperpatriotism. So it's definitely there. 24 is sort of the biggest example of that, is in media. Nicole knew it. Heart to you said, such a fan of your videos and the nuances you could. This is my first time watching your stream. The vibes are incredible. Thank you so much for everything you do. Aw, Nicole, thank you so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. You are amazing. Ariel Kun said, hey, if Jessie Gender had a band, you know what the name would be? The Gender Band. Okay, I'm sorry. I would call it, no, Jessie and the Gendies. That would be my band name. Jessie and the Gendies. That's my band name. Or Jessie's Genders. That would be great. Jubilee Helix, Hardy said, love Mass Effect, never played the third game. Play Mass Effect 3! It is not perfect, but I really like Mass Effect 3. It also has the best ending. The Citadel DLC in Mass Effect 3 is amazing. I adore it. Hey, Jessie! Or Jessie. I said, hey, Aeronok. You said, hey, Jessie, and I read it. So, hey, Aeronok, good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Catching up on Super Chats. Any more? Click stream, and then it's in the window. I'll find it next time, Bira, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Amanda Stevens, heart to you, said, thank you for what you do for trans people. You've been, you be you, whatever people tweet or say about you. Stay strong and keep shining bright. You helped me through COVID collapses and polar home. I'm sorry, Amanda. Both sending you love and thank you so much. You're amazing. Mwah, mwah, mwah. You're amazing, Amanda. I appreciate you. Ronak of the Raid Lords Hardy said, if we're talking about anticipated games, I'm looking forward to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I need to play the Vampire Masquerade games. I've heard good things. Or at least that series. I know there's like a bunch of them, and I think they're like, the license is open or something like that, or it's not copyrighted, so there's a bunch of different games. I've heard good things about some of those games. You said, Raya Heart to you said, hey, I just wanted to say and thank you for your videos. I find many of them helpful in learning a new viewpoint and how to be a better... Oh, well, thank you, Raya. Heart to you. Thank you, my friend. Mwah. Sending you love, and you are amazing yourself. I appreciate you. Alex, you said this is my first stream. My thing jumped ahead here. Alex going, this is my first stream I've talked in because very nervous and often not very mentally well. Alex, we send you all the love. All the love to Alex Kona. You are amazing, and I'm so glad you're here, and I'm glad you joined in talking, but it's also okay not to talk. I'm sure there are many of you in the stream who are not chatting and not talking right now and just hanging out, and that's cool too. I see you all, and I send you love. If you're just here to just chill and hang out and be around like this channel or this community, but don't want to chat, that's cool too. But sending you love, Alex, and welcome to the community, my friend. Let's see. I have not seen the tribe. I have not seen the tribe, Jay. William Hart to you said, hey, I know you're a Babylon 5 and DS9 fan. Have you seen Arena, an awesome 1989 film set on a space station? No, but I will check it out. I'm gonna add it to my film list. Arena 1989. Who's in it? 1989. I added it to my list. I love the makeup. Some of this alien makeup is kind of fun. Mark Alimo. Goldacott himself, Armin Shuriman. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. I will have to check this out. That sounds amazing. I'll check that out. Thank you, William. Let's see who else is here. I think I caught up on Super Chat. Jordan Sanchez, I caught you live. Thank you for your videos, and I'm so glad you created the space for all this. There's more love. There is always more love than hate, Jordan. Sending you love, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. And Anthony, I just caught up. Hi, I love your channel. You are fantastic. Just remember, second star of the rate and straight on till morning. Yes, hell yes. Our Captain Kirk reference I am here for. I think I caught up on everything. So, I think we're all here. Watching your part. By the way, yes, Aeronok is here in the chat. Everyone go support Aeronok. Amazing creator, amazing channel. BFI recognized Aeronok. I adore her so much. And very much is an amazing collaborator, an amazing friend, and I am very lucky to be able to work with her on stuff because she kicks ass so much, and her part in the J.K. Rowling video is amazing. But if you want to see stuff beyond just like sad stuff, her video on queer relativity is amazing, and also her Matrix video, just basically all of just her videos in general and her stuff that she makes in general is amazing. So go support Aeronok because she kicks ass, and I adore her so much. Yeah, chronically Korean. I would totally love to hear a joke. Give me a good joke. I'll take it. Aw, thank you, Frogger. You have good vibes too, my friend. Oh, Rowan, that's fine. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Chloe, you said, heart to you, by the way, Chloe. You said, I highly recommend watching Majority Report's coverage of Crowder versus Daily Wire. Crowder revealed that YouTube is more willing to remonetize him another big... Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. Because, well, the reason that YouTube is much more willing to remonetize transphobes is because, you know, I think the best way I can articulate this is to use myself as an example. I did the Matt Walsh video. As many of you know, I got a community strike for the Matt Walsh video. The reason that I got the community strike in that video was because I had a mannequin that I stuck Matt Walsh's face on, and I made a joke where I was hitting on the mannequin. It was a cartoon version of him, clearly not meant to be him, clearly meant to be a joke, clearly just like an over-the-top, like, heightened thing. I mean, I was literally wearing a beard or whatever, and I was doing it to a man who was harming the trans community, so I was taking him down a peg. It was political humor, and that's all that sort of things. But my video got a community strike for that joke because it was seen as unwanted sexualization. Meanwhile, at the same time, Matt Walsh and other transphobes can sexualize trans people unwantedly every single day in their content. They call trans people groomers. They call us fetishes. They call our inherent bodies, sexual things. They sexualize us literally every single day. Every single day. And so they sexualize us every single day in their content, but that doesn't get a community strike. And the reason is that LGBTQ people, queer people, women generally are seen as walking sex. We are inherently seen as sex. And in our puritanical society, sex is viewed as bad, it is viewed as adult, it is viewed as inappropriate, and therefore him sexualizing us is okay because that's just the norm. It's acceptable in our society. So he doesn't get any copyright strikes on him because it is the norm. Whereas if I make a joke sexualizing him, then it is unwanted sexualization. So now, to be fair, I will say there are people who have legitimately don't like that joke, and that's fair. You could talk about it being inappropriate. There are good faith criticisms of the joke, but totally fine and fair. To me, I thought it was punching up at power. I think it's fine, especially since it wasn't a joke about me trying to come on to the Matt Walsh mannequin. It was me in actually having an active conversation with the mannequin where we were both hitting on each other. That was the joke. It wasn't me coming onto her inappropriately. It was me coming onto the mannequin, appropriately. Anywho, cartoon version of the character. But anyways, there are good faith criticisms of that joke. But there was no that nuance with from YouTube. It was quite literally you are unwantedly sexualizing a human being when he can sexualize us all the time. It's because trans people are inherently viewed as sex. So yeah, as I've said before, systems like YouTube are not built to accommodate transgender people. They are not built to accommodate. They are not there to accommodate queer people. They are quite literally built to just make money. And making money means they have to, reflect the capitalist system that we live in, which ultimately does stoke men like Matt Walsh. Because Matt Walsh knows that he is ultimately using his platform just to make money. That's what he's doing. I honestly, he's a grifter. I'm sure he believes his transphobia, but really what he's doing is he knows that transphobia and anti-trans bigotry will get him attention, and attention will get him money. He knows how to use the systems. He's a businessman. He's literally just trying to use culture war nonsense that enables him, these systems that enable him to make money. And YouTube is a business, and it will go where the money is. So it is not, it accommodates, it allows me to exist within its systems within certain limits, but it is a tool that it was never built for me to be made, because it is a tool ultimately made for money, and capitalism is ultimately here to stoke divisions amongst people to make things marketable and sellable to each other. Say men and women, are different, and so we'll have a blue branded thing and a pink branded thing. We'll have the trans supportive media and the anti-trans supportive media, and you can pick which one you want. That's what it's here for. And when you frame things as anti-trans and pro-trans, that's what those media is ultimately going to frame as the two options you have to consume stuff. And instead of saying no, we only have trans supportive things because trans supportive things is the only way that people will ever be able to live in an equal society. Trans rights can only exist in a world that is equal for everybody. So, transphobes. You do realize that I can delete you. It's very easy. So, sorry for the transphobes, people. Just making sure to get rid of them. See, this is what they do. They're just being people coming in here. All they're trying to do is ruin a space where we're trying to be cool people together. This is a space of community and caring and uplifting each other. And two people want to come in and be jerks and be assholes, but it's two people amongst what? 400? There's 400 people in this stream right now, which is amazing. I love all of you. I love all of you here right now. There's 400 of us. Two people being assholes. They just want to disrupt the space, but they're always smaller. They're always smaller. So there's always more of us that care for each other and uplift each other. So yeah, we get rid of them. We're not allowing them. This is a trans supportive space only. So bye. We don't get to have them here. So gone. Be gone, transphobes! I banish you to the shadow realm! So. Exactly, Kay. Agree completely with you. Agree completely with you. I'm trying to see. Oh, Miranda, thank you so much, my friend. Also, can I show you all something? Where did I drop it, or where did I put it? I hope I didn't put it anywhere. Well, I'll show you the one that I have now. I don't know where I put the other one. That makes me upset. But I got a new stim toy. Welcome to my autistic brain. But I got a new stim toy, which is these magnetic beads. I got rainbow magnetic beads. I have bigger ones, but I don't know where they disappeared to, where I put them down. But it's like, these things are the best stim toys I've ever had in my life. If you want a stim toy, these are great, because what I love to do is you can use the little beads and you try to like recreate a cube with them. And it's so much fun and so satisfying to recreate the cube. These ones are the tiny ones. I don't like the tiny ones. I don't know where I put my bigger ones. I might have put them out there when I was grabbing the book, because I had it in my hand. But you should get the you should get these. If you're all looking for a good stim toy, go look up magnetic beads. Don't get the ones on Amazon, because they suck. There was this company that makes magnetic bead stuff, but it's such a great stim toy, and it's so satisfying to like rebuild a cube and stuff. Like my productivity has gone up like 100% since I got these magnetic beads, because it just keeps me focused better by having a little stim toy. So highly recommend it. Welcome to my autistic brain. Data Foxy, heart to you. Stay awesome yourself, my friend. Mwah. Mwah. So that's, yeah, have you been hearing this? I didn't know if you've been hearing the crunching, so apologies you've been hearing the crunching. That was what you've been hearing on the stream. Any advice for starting to present femme in public? I really need to make this up, but it's so scary. Evelyn, be willing to, I want to say, number one, always think of your safety. That's the important thing. But ignoring sort of safety concerns, what I would say is just be willing to play around. Part of the joy of exploring your identity is you're never going to look perfect. You're never going to look right, and that's okay. It's about exploring your identity and exploring who you are. You know, we always want to like find the perfect outfit for us. But I actually really liked, CJ the X just did a recent video, and I loved something that apologies, misgendered them there. But they said in that video that I really connected with was, I believe they said, perfection is a process. And I thought that was a really cool idea of perfection being a process instead of an actual destination. About we're always looking for like this process of getting better and growing. I thought that was just a really cool idea. So I think like advice for presenting femme in public, just explore, have fun, and like get like the act of exploring you being femme in public should be a joyous and creative thing. So be kind to yourself, I think, is the biggest thing. Don't judge yourself. You'll probably look in the mirror. I had many days of this. You're gonna look in the mirror, and you probably say like, oh, I don't look how I want to look. I look awful. I don't look good. I know that that voice is always going to be there. I still have that voice quite often, a lot, especially being on YouTube. My vanity gets heightened because I'm an on-camera dance for your amusement person. So that voice is always gonna be there in some way, shape, or form, because society stokes it and feeds it. But be kind to yourself. You look amazing. You look wonderful. And don't let society tell you any different, and quiet that voice. And take joy in the exploration of self that you have before you. So I'm not going to tell you which way to look femme. You'll find it for yourself. There's so many ways to present the way that you want to present. And just revel in the process of exploring it, I think, is the best advice that I can give you. And be kind to yourself as you go through that process, as you try to find yourself. I think this being kind to yourself and just enjoying the journey, I think, is the best advice that I can give for that. Hairline. To be fair, I'm not really good with hairline. The best advice I can give you for hairline, the only things that I did for my hairline was estrogen. Estrogen is magic for your hairline. It does help. But if you don't want to do estrogen, that makes sense if you don't want to. And then also I got surgery to bring my hairline forward, because that was just one of the surgeries that I did. So I don't really have much advice for hairline other than, you know, hormones and surgery. So these are pretty more extreme measures than, like, I'm sure there are much more like simpler ones you could probably try for your hairline before those, but those are the ones that worked for me. So all right, everybody, I'm gonna wrap out the stream, but I see a few more super chats, so I'm just gonna quick check out these super chats, and then I'm probably gonna wrap out the stream for the day, everyone. But Renardaki said, one time I said Homelander was Bizarro with better hair on Discord. The mod said I was being mean to Bizarro. Yeah, Bizarro, it depends on the depiction of Bizarro, but some depictions of Bizarro are super sweet. Sometimes Bizarro is evil, but some depiction of Bizarro is like a super sweet person. He's just a super sweet guy. So yeah, don't be mean to Bizarro as Homelander. Now, there's some depiction of Bizarro as like an evil, murderous man, but... Redact 12. I mean, Homelander's definitely dumber. Because he's a fascist. Redact 12, heart to you. When do you think someone is beyond help? I know it's cynical, but at this point I couldn't care if every GOP voter and politician was put before a firing squad. Well, to be very clear, I'm not advocating for violence on YouTube. Not that I'm against that. Let me just put it this way. Things that I can't say on YouTube. Put it that way. I think it is... We push back against people who are causing active harm and wishing to do more harm to others. Those are the people that we fight against. And we look for our allies. People who stand up for us when it matters. When we need them to. It's why I talk about with like Hogwarts Legacy stuff without getting further into it. It's like, you know, people being like, well, I want to buy the Hogwarts Legacy game, but I still support trans people. It's like, well, when you buy the Hogwarts Legacy game and you say you support trans people, what you're telling us is our entertainment cares more for telling us that we're safe around you. And when, you know, when the chips are down, I'm going to look at the people who are willing to sacrifice and give up stuff in their everyday life to be the ones that I stand in allyship with and look to feel safe and protected and to fight alongside. Not to say the people who can't be allies otherwise, but those are the people who are willing to sacrifice now who I will stand with. And when we talk about people who are too far gone, you know, I am of the belief that everyone can, to a certain degree, when you sit down and empathize with people, they can, and give them love and kindness, you can probably save many, many people that way, because humans are ultimately empathetic creatures. It's when we dehumanize others that's the case. But you can't do that for everyone. We don't have the energy to do that for everybody. Like, there's just no way. So ultimately, in the day, we are going to have to fight people. And while we can have empathy for a certain amount of people who fall into the fascistic rhetoric, at the end of the day, we just have to fight people who are going to cause harm. So, yeah, I think if you have the capability to show love and empathy at certain times, for sure, but at other points, you just need to stand up and say, we are going to fight these people. We're going to push back against them, and we need to stop people from causing more harm, and fuck fascists. Fuck fascists. So, yeah, I think those in power are the ones to focus the most on, people using their power to continuing harm, and then those who are willing to enact violence to perpetuate the status quo as it is. I think those are the lines that I would draw in terms of how we push back against fascism. As a married, heart to you, Testy Trekkie, as a married, middle-aged, beardy, bi guy, the latest episode, right? It was so good. I've already talked about it a bunch, but I love that episode so much. Golden, you said, hey, prob's not your core demographic. That's fine. As I'm neither trans nor a Trekkie, I will make you a Trekkie. And you can figure out if you're trans or not, but I will make you a Trekkie. That's my goal. I will use my trans powers to turn you into a Trekkie. As I'm neither trans nor a Trekkie, but as a gay autistic guy, your video essays and being a cool person of deep my understanding of a lot of stuff. Here's my, oh, well, thank you, Golden. I appreciate you. But I don't have a core demographic. I have a community of people who are awesome, and I welcome everyone in here who is willing to be caring and thoughtful and empathetic, and also push back against fascism. So if you say fuck fascism, and you're caring and authentic, and you fight for the most marginalized people around you, hell yes. That's awesome. And then I'm just making sure. Oh, Val, heart to you. You're amazing. Heart to you, my friend. And I believe I'm all caught up on super chats. So everybody, I'm going to wrap up for the night because I have to go buy my dinner. And then I'm probably going to eat dinner after that. But everybody, love you all. I might play some Dead Space this weekend. I don't know for sure, but if I do, I'll be playing that sometime this weekend. Otherwise, take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Stand up for those around you. Fuck fascism. And I send you all the love. You beautiful, amazing, wonderful people. Probably we'll see if I do one early in the week, but there will most certainly not be a stream. Well, actually, that may not be true. There will probably not be a stream next week on Thursday because I'm going to be in Los Angeles at the Star Trek Picard premiere. Thinking of it now, It probably won't be a full hour, but I might live stream if I can with my phone, some of myself at the premiere event and see if I can get to, show you guys around while I'm there. So it might be a fun time. I can't guarantee that because I don't know if they'll allow that. I don't know if they'll be able to do that with the cell service or whatever. But I will try. I will try my best to possibly do that. But if not, I will try and do a live stream another point in the week. So yeah, it should be a fun time. Mwah. I send you all love, you beautiful, beautiful dorks. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all either this weekend or in a few days with another stream at some point in the near future. But otherwise, I will bid you all a live long and prosper.